had to destroy some things in my life lately. Hi, y'all. And I'm about to destroy more. Thankfully for me, I have somebody in my life now who is helping me with my business. Now, here in the Spiritpreneur portal, it can feel pretty lonely, especially when you're on a spiritual journey, and that is a part of the entrepreneurial endeavor, is to really figure out what is for you by getting clear on your own innate sense of service, your passion, your purpose. I have a lot of passions. As a person with ADHD and who is probably on the autism spectrum, I have a lot of passions. And there are a lot of purposes that I want to serve. The problem with that is I have tried to do it all at once. I have tried to take little baby steps on like everything over the course of a long period of time. And that, as I was made aware, dilutes my energy. And I wanted to bring this in because I want you to hear how you can listen to all these coaches, you can download all of their freebies, and even work with a few coaches to figure out what is right for you and how to be your best, most entrepreneurially successful self. And yet, if you are all over the place, and you don't think you are, trust me, right now, you don't think you are all over the place. Because I didn't think I was all over the place. It seemed perfectly reasonable for me to start a Patreon with 3 tiers and give people options, and to also give myself options and do multiple things that feel really good for me. The problem is, when people weren't in all of my tiers, I lost interest, I lost enthusiasm, and I didn't feel excited to show up in those spaces. So I created things that then started decaying because there wasn't life that was being built and funneled into that space. And I not only lost interest, but I lost some self-esteem, like I lost some self-confidence. It felt like a major disappointment to have such high expectations for, like, of course people will want to be here. Of course people will want these things. Of course I feel the desire to create this service because it is something that people want. Like, why would Spirit give me something that people do not want? The thing is, you really do have to start small. You can't start doing everything that you ultimately want to do. You have to start doing what you can do now. Building a foundation of community, of your audience, of whatever client base, whatever you resonate with. It doesn't just take time, it takes trust. And as my partner pointed out to me, I would not trust you to give me what I want in your $35 or your $88 Patreon tiers if you're not really showing up fully in your $5 tier. How am I going to trust you? I lost trust in myself. I stopped trusting myself when I recognized that I should be doing something. I should be showing up in at least the $5 tier, in at least the most accessible service that I have. And yet I just couldn't bring myself to. I just couldn't muster up the enthusiasm. It felt like pushing the boulder up the hill. I felt like Sisyphus, just trying to And I talk about the story of Sisyphus and how how the bolt pushing the boulder up the hill is can sometimes, if you look at it a certain way, be related to bringing your ancestral trauma and family trauma along with you in your own life's journey. Talked about this in my recent Vibrant Coven podcast, the interview with Emily Iris. So go and check that out if you would like to hear more about like this destruction thing, this destroyer thing that's happening, but also to hear from somebody who has adoption trauma and their Sisyphean, struggle has been different from what most people experience. I was pushing the boulder up the hill, which was the expectation that I felt that I thought that I was perceiving from my parents, who I could feel myself trying to prove myself to. And so if I have higher paying tiers in Patreon, higher paying, groups within that space, then, there's more of a chance for people to come in and do the thing. And then I will be making money faster and sooner and easier. And hey, look, mom and dad, what I'm doing. This is not a proud face. This is strain. This is emotional drain. This is me blaming and shaming and guilting myself based on the assumption that I'm making that I'm better off if I can prove to other people that I'm making it, that I am successful. The problem with that is I lost faith in myself along the way. I lost trust in myself for getting things done along the way. And it was because I chose to do too many things. And hello, ADHDers out there. Having too many things to do causes overwhelm. Inevitably causes overwhelm. Like, one of the things that I've been doing is creating a schedule that's based around each week as opposed to every single day, and having something to do every single day, because that feels really yucky for me. That feels like failure just begging to happen in my life. Just disappointment lurking around the corner. But if I have a few things that I have to get done during the week, then I can wake up each day and see how my energy feels. And sometimes I get one thing done, and sometimes I get 10 things done. Like, there's another way to do what you're trying to do that is simpler, that gives you less stuff to do, and the more, it's like a plant, the more that you trim off, certain parts, the more that the energy that the plant is getting can focus on just the things that really need to thrive. And if you have a plant that has a ton of non-flower producing branches, and maybe 2 of them have buds that have just never opened, then all the energy is going to keep going to all of these things. But if you want to bloom, you're going to have to trim. You're going to have to trim away. And I will tell you explicitly what I am doing. In Patreon, I have a $5 tier, a $35 tier, an $88 tier, and a $228 tier. $228 is for my mentorship. That is one-on-one. Every month you get like a very specific, I am working with you, mentoring you on the things that really need focusing right now. And it looks like a lot of time and energy spent on just one person at a time. The $5 tier is energy spent throughout the week on a lot of people and a lot of resources, and just like blah, 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 throwing things out there, letting myself just be free and give and give and give, so that anybody who resonates with anything throughout the month, throughout the 30 days that I am showing up, $5 will have paid for at least one thing that will resonate with any person who's in there. That feels really good. The other two tiers, I have ideas. I have big ideas. But the problem that my partner, who is helping me manage my time and manage my business with me, thank you, baby, what they pointed out to me is, if I build my $5 space, build it and get a lot of people there, that's when I can start offering the next, hey, I'm thinking about opening a tier where I offer a monthly event that is recurring and talks about unblocking your intuition. Would y'all be interested in that? And then if I have 50 people in that space and I create a new tier, then maybe 5 of those people, instead of paying $5 a month, will be paying $35 a month. Hey, how do y'all feel about me running courses, an ongoing self-led course that takes place in another tier at this level? How do y'all feel about that? Cool, awesome. It's opening this weekend. Boom. Now I have more people who are already bought in, who are already not just money bought in, but energetically bought in. They have felt, the buy-in isn't a financial exchange. The buy-in, it is a financial exchange, okay? But also, more so, it is a value exchange. It is, whoa, I have witnessed the value that I am getting from this space, and I can trust that if this person wants to provide something else that takes me to another level, that provides me with something else that could be really valuable, hell yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna want to jump into that, swim in that pool. I was already in the the baby pool. I was already in the baby pool swimming around, and I was like, this feels pretty good. Like, let's go deeper. So I am deleting my 2 middle tiers. I will only have my mentorship tier, the highest tier, and then I will have the community tier, which is the $5 tier. That's it. And while it was so frustrating to hear it and to recognize that I know that that's the right thing, as frustrating as it is, and as hard as it is to hear, and as sad-making as it is to lose something that I have in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, have worked on so much, the material world is not ready. And clearly I'm not either. And it's okay to accept that. It's okay, more than okay. It's really potent magic to accept that you are not ready for something, and that other people aren't ready to trust you with it either. I have to build back trust in myself, and I need time to build trust with myself and other people. It's more than okay. It's wonderful. That's the way that things should be. Things should take time. We should be doing things with ease rather than with pressure and pushing and trying to be overly productive to make things work, as opposed to acknowledging what is working and what is not. So I hope that you can take this lesson that I learned the hard way of spending years putting my energy out into so many spaces, and that you can see how it feels so good to destroy a few things. And just because you're destroying that, let me go here for a second. Just because you're destroying them doesn't mean that they cannot be resurrected. Just because you are putting them to sleep for now doesn't mean that they won't awaken when the time is right. As hard as it is to admit to yourself that the time isn't right, to bring yourself into another space that really excites you, but that other people aren't ready to follow you into. As hard as it is to admit that to yourself, it is so much harder to admit years after you've been trying and trying and trying to push that boulder up the hill. It is so much harder to admit to yourself then that you should have changed a long time ago, that you could have done things differently a long time ago. That's what I've been struggling with, is the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment. I feel a little, I was going to say humiliated, but I'll choose humbled. I feel very humbled by having somebody come into my life and say, you're doing too much. You can serve people better, and you would be better served by coming back to square one. So humbling, so humbling, so humbling. My ego wanted so badly to do all of the things that I want to do right now. Can't I just? No? Okay. Because I trust my partner to be telling me the honest truth and not just what I want to hear. And because when I hear that truth, I feel it resonate with me, and I feel it give me a sense of relief, while also maybe making me feel a little frustrated at the same time. Both things can exist and be true. I am learning to trust myself in the reflection of trusting that I gotta take it one step at a time, and baby, so do you. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if this hit you, if this hit you hard. It hit me pretty hard, and I would love to talk about it here or in the Vibrant Coven, where there are now 2 tiers for you to join. Thank you for taking this time for yourself to, really, let that hard truth sink in, so that you can open yourself up to your inner destroyer, who understands that things gotta get cut away so that the energy that remains can create more powerfully. Hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. Mwah.